It is now my pleasure to introduce the student speaker for the ceremony, Karen Turanga. Karen is graduating today with a Master of Social Science, majoring in social policy. Karen came to academic study as a mature student, often telling people she is living her life in reverse. After training as a dental hygienist in the Army, which offered no formal qualifications, and working for more than 30 years in clinical practice, she found herself unable to progress into research or policy. This crossroads left her asking, where to from here? The answer was to come to university and do the very thing she had been told she wasn't smart enough to do, study. To her surprise, Karen not only enjoyed academics, she was capable and found that studying offered her the opportunity to have an impact and influence those who hold power. She has been the recipient of several scholarships, including a Health Research Council grant for veterans research, and is currently working on tutoring, research, and policy work within the university while studying toward her PhD. Would you please welcome to the podium to give the student address, Karen Turanga.
Kia ora everybody. Firstly, I'd like to thank the Chancellor, Susan Hessel, and the Vice Chancellor, Professor Neil Quigley, for giving me the opportunity to speak today. To all my fellow graduates, woohoo, we're done. I want to congratulate you on all the hard work and mahi that you put into it, and I'm really privileged to spend this day with you all. So my path to university was never planned. I was told that this wasn't for me. ADHD had given the world an unregulated, sometimes angry, and prone to the odd violent outburst as a child. So by the time I finished primary school, I couldn't read or write. I was very lucky to have two teachers, a Mr. Hooper and a Mr. Wilson, and yes, I still remember them today. If I hadn't had them, my future would have been pretty limited. But they'd had enough of my antics, and they decided they weren't going to cave to my usual diversionary tactics. And so after scratching a little bit deeper into the service and under the surface, I was promptly enrolled in reading recovery. That was probably the first major pivot in my life. But ADHD doesn't go away, and classrooms still were not my friend. So by 14, I dropped out of high school. Not my best move, but it did teach me a really good life lesson. Minimum wage sucked. So 2 years later, and after a few questionable life choices, I realised if I wanted more, I had to do more, and I had to go back to school. School was still a struggle, but I managed to scrape through with 2 subjects, maths and English. And those 2 passes created another incremental directional change in my life. For reference here, I need to be clear, I wasn't stupid, just academically challenged. I had street smarts, number 8 wire thinking, and a really good memory, which was how I'd hidden the fact I couldn't read or write for so long. I was just a bit unregulated. So back to those 2 subjects. They opened the door to my next pivotal change in life, which was joining the New Zealand Army, which I credit for running the stupid out of me. That's my term, not theirs, and it refers to my unregulation, not my intelligence. But it became my saving grace, and it was the foundation that I built a whole new life on. Unfortunately, while it gave me a great career and a great profession, it didn't give me a formal education. So after more than 30 years of as being a dental hygienist, I had burnt out. I didn't want to clean teeth anymore, but I did want to give back. And if I was going to make a change, I had to make it now, before I got too old. But now, I was confronted with another triple glass ceiling. I was Māori, I was female, and I had no formal education. 2 of those I can't change. And I'm not good at laying down and playing dead. So in 2020, I took the biggest challenge of my life. I packed up my fears, my insecurities, and my imposter syndrome, and enrolled in the University of Waikato to study Poutu Manaho at population health. My goal was to get the silly little letters behind my name, known as postnominals, crack the glass ceiling and get out, because remember, this wasn't for me. Instead, though it wasn't plain sailing, I discovered a passion for academia. I never expected. My ADHD is mostly tamed, but it still throws me the odd glitch. And academics have allowed me to look past old limiting beliefs and shoot for the stars, the journey which has landed me here on this mountain peak today. Proud to speak on behalf of the graduating class. Yeah. And now another peak calls as I look towards the PhD. 20-year-old me, and probably a lot of people I knew back then, would never have believed how much I could change. Support across the university has been fantastic. There are too many people to thank, so I'm going to thank everybody. When I first started here, I worried about age, fitting in, being smart enough. I threw in the odd meltdown, you get the picture. But I've learned that the hardest battles in life were the ones in my own head. And our neuroplastic brains will believe anything we tell them. So be kind to your mind and tell it just how fantastic you are. Clearly my experience was great because I'm coming back for more. And I can recommend the University of Waikato, so anybody that's out there that might be interested, check us out. To my fellow graduates, at this point I'm supposed to share an inspirational antidote or an insider joke, but postgrads often fly solo. So instead, here's a reflection from a mature student living life in reverse. I hope my story inspires others to dream big, because it's never too late to do more, to be more, to change course or reinvent yourself. Take life at full throttle. Yes, you'll make mistakes, but they are the things that shape you, and they'll teach you lessons you won't learn here. Don't be afraid to get it wrong once in a while, or try something just to see how it fits. Time flies. One day you'll be my age, asking, where did it go, and wondering why you didn't take those opportunities sooner. Your study is a springboard. Have the courage to be you. Chase those big dreams and change the world. Shape lives and create a path that others can follow. Always follow your own dreams, not someone else's, and do the hard stuff. So when you're in the rocking chair at the end of it, you're not sitting there going, what if? Instead, you can say, I'm glad I took the opportunities, and I remembered the whittle, the challenge that was laid down today. Whaia te iti kahurangi, ki te tohu koe, me maunga teitei. Pursue excellence, and if you must surrender, let it be to a lofty mountain. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, Karen, for your inspiring address. And thank you to all the graduates and your families, friends, and supporters who have attended this graduation ceremony today.